well, fellas. Let's get everyone... Let's get all the chat up so we can see who's about. Oh, no, fine source. Activate. Brilliant. Captain Ekatike. Ooh, I don't think I would, you know. I don't think I would. Newcastle are a bit pants, though, mate, aren't they? They are a bit pants. Away from home, I'm talking about, you know. But in general, Newcastle are shit anyway, aren't they? Captain Dan Ballard again. Come on. Go on, Rowan, lad. Hopefully he gets a clean sheet for us this week at home. Croupy captain, says Josh. Wow. Do you think Evan Nielsen scores? He's got a good chance in the fixture, yeah. Got a great chance in the fixture, I would say. It's one of them ones where Tavernier's out, he's on pens. You know, all things point in Evan Nielsen's direction. Obviously, I did the move last week. But this week, you know, a lot of people jumping on him as well. Watkins is a funny one, especially with that slight knock that we heard about. You know, it's a bit of an uncomfortable feeling for him, apparently, according to Emery. So, if you've got him already, I would play him and just hope. If not, I don't think I'll be making the move this week. I think that's enough to put me off. Ryan says, remember me, I decided to captain Rodgers and he got me 8 points over Haaland's. Over Haaland's 1 pointer. I'm 4-3-1 rank. Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. Those who were around last week for the stream, of course, got to hear the leak about Haaland and Foden being benched. Maybe this week we get another leak about some of the earlier kickoffs and perhaps even some of the later ones as well. So make sure you're tuning in and staying on the stream or just pop them back in at the end. We'll see if we can get that information for you guys this week. You think Haaland gets 90 minutes? Ooh, that's a good question, actually. Do you know what? Yes. I would say yes. I think there's opportunities for Haaland now, and now he's had that rest against Wolves, for him to be sort of rejuvenated a bit and have that sort of rest he really needed. Thank you very much, Braden, for the roses, mate. Appreciate that, sunshine. Bench 2, but who? Wilson, Jimenez of Bournemouth, I believe that is. Mukiele, Rice and Rodgers, who I would bench out of those. Oh, my God. I mean, you would say Wilson away from home, but that's tough. That's tough for 2 to bench. Maybe Jimenez as well. But that is seriously tough. You could feasibly bench any of those two options there. Zafran says there's no one in YouTube chat. Yeah, we're still early, mate. We're still early. TikTok chat's flowing, though. You should be able to see it on the YouTube stream there. Zafran says Captain Fernandes for the win. Absolutely this week for me. What do you think of Ryan at Bournemouth? And but seemingly has a 100 million release clause. Bloody hell. I didn't realise that, Justin. That's a bit mental. Pro Gamer says João Pedro is also a good option. I agree. I absolutely agree. I think João Pedro is a decent option going forward in the next 3 weeks. It's just a case I hope he gets the minutes. I really do, because obviously Delap has played under Rosenior before, so he likes him already. He knows what you expect from him. It's just a case of minutes with João Pedro. I think this should be good. I think he should be starting all the games. Casper said, what's your rank? 571k. Had a lovely big green arrow last week. Junior Edit says, hi. How are you doing, Junior? Joshua's in. How's it going, Mugs? It's going great, Joshua. How are you, brother? Zero ball knowledge. Cheers, lad. Football 07 says, bench 2. Cash, Anderson, Senesi, Gabriel, or Mukiele. I wouldn't be benching Gabriel or Mukiele this week. It would probably fall on Anderson and... Do you know, honestly, I would say Senesi as well. They do concede goals. They do. Absolutely. Just had a question by, I think it was Tyrell. I can't quite see your name because it just went past, but we were asking a question about the best 5.5 defender. Ooh. I would say Senesi. I'm just looking at some of my notes here. I would say Senesi. Yeah. I think long term Senesi's quite good as well. Pro Gamer says Cherky or Wilson. Cherky or Wilson. Do you know what? I'll just say Wilson because he plays minutes. Cherky, I feel as though is one of those players where he could feasibly not start a game, or perhaps get 90 the next. You really don't know what you're gonna get. Appreciate the roses, Bren. You don't need to send gifts, man. It's all good. It's all good. But I really do appreciate it, mate. Alex says, should I start Enzo over Haaland, Semenyo, or Gehi? Enzo needs to be playing for you this week. For me, Enzo needs to be playing for you this week. If you have him, you need to be playing for him because the good fixtures are now. They're not sort of a hold and wait later. It's you should be playing him now. I don't think I'll bench him over any of the other players. I would look somewhere else. Senesi over Gehi. I would say yes, because historically with the Man City defenders that don't really hit DEFCON, where Senesi, I mean, he's just a monster for DEFCON, isn't he? Bruno G play, I believe he will, yeah. Joshua said, I had a nightmare of a week last week. All of Haaland, Ekatike, Foden bench, but came out 1 point. Statch on the bench with 8 points. Gutting, man. Gutting. How are you, Mugs? Says Jack. I'm good, Jack. Nice to have you in this morning, mate. How are you doing? Should I get Evan Nielsen for Watkins for a -4? Do you know what? No, I wouldn't say so. I would not say so. Appreciate the gift, Brian, as well. Rogers captain? Ooh, I don't think I would do that, I don't think I would. No, not for me, Rogers. I mean, Villa have had a lot of injuries and stuff. Things are going to be changing at the club. Maybe Watkins doesn't start today, but on Sunday, sorry. But I do think you'll be okay. It's tough. It's tough with that one. Zafran said, I can't decide between Raya and Timber. I personally think Raya will get all the minutes and Timber will get rotated with White, but has a higher seed and can't pick one. For me, it would be Timber. I think Timber, yes, yellow flag this week. Well, I'm not sure if he's even yellow flagged anymore, but he was for seemingly, knocking the Champions League. It was just to rest him. It was just to rest him. So, yeah. I would go Timber personally. Caicedo for Enzo. Yeah, Enzo's a really good option. Ryan says, Rodgers is a good captaincy option in my opinion, but I'm going to go with either Rice or Haaland. Rice as well, wow. Junior is put his team in the chat. He says, is this good for a bench boost, boys? Raya, Dubravka, Timber Gabriel, Chalobah, Mukele, Cash, Bruno captain, Watkins, Enzo, Mbuemo, Cunha, Watkins, Evan Nielsen, and João Pedro. You know what? For a bench boost, I would probably hold it, but the team is absolutely stacked. This team is absolutely stacked. Bruno, triple captain? No. Triple captain, I think, is, for me this season, a double game week chip. I think you're going to benefit much more by holding off. But if you really want to go for it, you can. But I think there's higher upside later in the season. Why have you got Virgil? I think long term he's a good option. These next two fixtures, not so much. I'm looking maybe to bench him next week. Start Ekatike? Yeah, I think I would. I mean, let's have a look at a predicted lineup because a lot of people are saying different things, but I do think he'll start. It's for me, it's who's going to play right back for Liverpool. That's what I can't decide personally. Should I triple captain Mbuemo? No. For me, wait with the triple captain till a double game week. Muzamil, thanks for the gift, mate. I'm going to try find your message you just sent. Raya or Timber for wildcard? I think my choice would be Timber. Alex says, hey, Mugs, just wondering if Ekatike is good this week or should I play Enzo instead? I mean, I'd play Enzo. over him. I really would, but yeah, I feel like Ekatike is not too bad either. Jack says start Bruno G on Munoz. Ooh. Ooh, do you know what? Palace is weird at the moment. Palace are really weird. I would say Bruno G, but Munoz is has been a defender. Do you know what? Go Munoz. If you've got Munoz, make use of him because not a lot of people have him. I think there's upside there. Watkins, there's a no from me. There's a way. Where's that message gone? I hate when TikTok does that. There is way better options for cheaper. Yeah, for me, there are better options cheaper with the news we had about Watkins. I think before we had the news about Watkins of that slight knock, I think he was one of the best players we could be picking at the moment. But yeah, bro copied my team. I did, bro. Sorry, man. I did. So João Pedro to Evan Nielsen and Sanchez for my third Chelsea slot. It does block you the Palmer move, but Kelleher Sanchez as a rotation is really, really nice. You could look at that. You could. Instead of Watkins, Rodgers. I like Watkins a bit better, but obviously the news isn't great. Palmer or Enzo long term. Long term it would be Enzo, but I think Palmer could start. It's just we all have that uncertainty about his injury, so it's tough. Hey Mugs, do you go with Calvert-Lewin or Watkins? I go Watkins and hope he plays. Jack says I think he's going to play Munoz, and there's 100% chance Bruno G, and there's not 100% chance that Bruno G starts. I mean, I suppose so. Yeah, I think there is upside in Munoz there. I absolutely think so. Gareth says, "Hey, how are we doing, Gareth? Should I get rid of Mateta for Igor, Jesus, or Tammy? Tammy's one of them ones I would stay away from now. I know there's short-term upside there, Gavin, but for me, I wouldn't look at it. Igor Thiago could start to get benched with oh my god, I forgot his name. Luca. Is it Luca? Their new signing, the massive 6'9" lad. He could start playing soon. Yeah, I would hold off on that move personally. How are we doing, Connor? How are we doing, lads? Have Senesi or Anderson on. Have Senesi or Anderson in a wild card. Senesi is a defender, yeah. I think long term that's pretty good. Are there any midfielders, no matter the price, that you would say are a must at the moment? I wouldn't say anyone's a must in FPL, but Bruno Fernandes is as close as you get. I think he's the best FPL player in the game. What about Palmer and Fernandes or Mbeumo and Fernandes? Ooh, I'd probably go Mbeumo and Fernandes. I think there's a few extra points you'd gain in that move. Palmer for the next few games could be amazing, but with that injury, it's hard to risk it. If you think he'll play every single match, then it's probably Palmer, but it is a tough one to call with his injury. Amo, start Thiago over Tarkovsky or Chalobah. I think I'll play Chalobah just about over Thiago this week because of how good Villa are, but Thiago for me still could score in this match. A lot of people writing him off, but I think he's still a great option. Sanchez or Verbruggen. Sanchez for the short term. Verbruggen, I would say, maybe slightly better longer term with some of the fixtures, but there's not a lot in it, I would say, for that. Timber or Rice for wild cards. Judging on the fact you're on wildcard, I would assume you've already got Gabriel. I would look, honestly, if you're wildcarding this week, I'd look to have triple Arsenal and set yourself up. Or you could feasibly go Timber Gabriel, and then as we go into the double game week 26, knowing if Arsenal have actually got it, move to a midfielder like Saka or Rice in that particular week. But I think Triple Arsenal's worth having this week. How are we doing, Orange Apple? Croupy or Wilson to start? Ooh. With that Ryan signed for Bournemouth, I don't know, I don't know. Honestly, I think I've used all my FPL skill/luck last season, finished top 150k. Now I'm on the edge of 3.5. Terrible season. Josh, do you know what it is? There's still so many weeks to go. Chips could absolutely fire you up. Absolutely could fire you up. Orange, why has he just done that? Hello, Jackie. Yes. Yes. Shalom. Robbie's going to score a hat trick. I hope he does, Connor. I hope he does. How are the lads? Wilson remain. Josh says I'm 85k now, hoping to stay under 100k. I staying above 100k for the season. Like, I think ending in that bracket, you've had a really good season. You really have. So honestly, mate, I think it can go even higher. Is Evan Nielsen worth a -4? Says Cam. It depends who you're selling, Cam. That is my honest answer to you. I think Evan Nielsen's a really great option, longer term and shorter term with this week's fixture. But it does depend who you're selling, I would say, Cam. Who should I start? Pickford over Bruggen? Ooh. Who would I start there? Do you know what? Oh, it's tough. I would maybe give Verbruggen the home fixture. I think I would, yeah. I'd go Verbruggen, but Pickford's so good. It's away from. I honestly think you could go either one. I think Verbruggen will have more saves, but if it comes to clean sheets, Pickford's maybe got a little bit of a better defense in front of him. Yeah, I'll probably say Pickford. I'll go Pickford for that one, mate. That's a really tough call though. That is a really tough one. Mugs, you reckon Zafran should become a mod? He's been around. Yeah, we can do that now. We can do that now. Zafran can be a mod, 100%. How do I do it? Standing moderator. Yeah, Zafran's a mod now. There you go. Welcome, Zafran. How's my midfield? Bruno Fernandes, Enzo, Vert, Embuemo, and Anderson. Brilliant. I think that's brilliant. I think Vert is a bit of a. It's one of them ones where you're paying a lot of money, and maybe you're hoping a little bit for the points because it's not been amazing. But do you know what? If you like him, you like him. I think there's better options though. Still though, that's a really really great midfield, mate. Orange, I think he has as well. Start Chow or Michael Keane. Is Michael Keane predicted to start actually because there was that issue the other week. I think he is, isn't he? Returns from suspension. Yeah, he's not suspended anymore. Actually, I'd go Michael Keane instead of Malik Chow. Yeah. Cam's replied with his Everton needs someone to come in for Thiago, but no Saka or Mark Yu, but keep Saka. Do you know what, Cam? I would just keep Thiago. I'd just keep Thiago. I think with Evan Nielsen, we could see Tavernier back next week. Okay, so maybe that means Evan Nielsen loses pens. It should be, in all honesty. So you may be trying to get advantage in the short term rather than the long term with him, but I still think he's a really great option. It's just a case that Thiago, he's still really, really good. Yeah, he's still really good. I'd keep Thiago personally. Free transfers are quite valuable at the moment. Any reason why you captain Bruno over Haaland? I think he's the better option by a good distance this week. look, we'll see what happens. Of course, Spurs away is still a really good fixture for Erling Haaland this week. Of course, Spurs as well. They're not that good at home, so they're not that good in general. In all honesty, so yeah, I think both options are good for me. In my team, Bruno's the best. By Alex Jimenez, yeah, Alex Jimenez has been honestly, even from outside of an FPL point of view, really, really good player for the past few weeks. Orange Apple says, Mogs, thoughts on Dorgu to Munoz, Senesi this week? And if so, which do you prefer, Munoz or Senesi? There's a bit of uncertainty at Palace and how they're going to perform. They have made a few signings. Mateta looks to not be involved this week. Maybe that actually improves the side, attacking wise. I think there's upside in Munoz with Senesi. If some of you guys in chat are also thinking about starting Senesi or like Senesi longer term, which I do, I think Bournemouth do concede quite a lot of goals. And there is a worry. There is a worry for me that he does concede a few and it's just DEFCON you'll be relying on. So Munoz is sort of that attacking option. Right, I guess it's time to retire from the FPL Mogs chat. Brother's idea me. Yeah, Connor, stop IDing Orange, man. I'm kind of worried about Arsenal, says Joshua. Leeds away can be a terrible game, although it was only one loss. I definitely think it could play on the minds of the players, and it's that time of the season. It could be an option this week where Arsenal do slip up away from home. I think having the rest in the Champions League, I think they will be ready to go. But it's a tough place to go. Ellen Road's a tough place to go. Riley says Anderson or Gehi. If you're talking about Anderson of Forest, it would be Anderson of Forest this week. But if it's Anderson of Fulham, it would be Gehi I would start. Just like unsure which one you're on about, Riley, just because you compare maybe two defenders or the other one. Whoever tops your mini league gets to set up your team for the next season. Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. Whoever tops my league, if I can get in contact with them at the end of the season, we'll have them on the channel. Yeah, we'll do that. So if any of you guys win my mini league this season, we'll get you on a video on YouTube. We'll do that. That sounds really fun. Zafran's just ripping into Connor. In my opinion, I would have took Thiago out and put Robbie in or something. Yeah, but like with my team, I haven't got like loads of free transfers, so like I should just keep Thiago because he's a good long-term option. I do love Brian Robbie because I am a Sunderland fan. So yeah, I get what you mean, but with my particular team, I can't do it with free transfers. I can't. Brian Brobby or Evan Nielsen? Evan Nielsen. Sanchez or Tarkovsky? Sanchez and Tarkovsky or Chalobah and Pickford. Sanchez and Tarkovsky. I'd go Chalobah and Pickford. Bro. Captaining Haaland? No. Have you closed off the mini league yet, Mogs? No, not yet. Not yet. I just need a few more people in, and then we're going to close it off because some people don't know that it's still a thing. Everyone on TikTok right now, if you want to join my FPL mini league, follow the link in the bio, go to the YouTube live stream, and there's an auto join link in the YouTube description. You should be able to join the mini league for this season. This is probably going to be the last week where the league is open. So if you do want to join, this is the chance now. Link in the bio. Go to the YouTube stream, and there's a link within the YouTube description. Are we back? The Wi-Fi's just died. Are we back, lads? I think we're back. The Wi-Fi died. Sorry, guys. Is it a bad shout to Captain João Pedro? I don't think so, no. I don't think so. I'm just cute. I'm not as keen on his expected minutes. I'm not as keen as an expected minutes, but I still think he's a good option. So you didn't say who I should start between Krupi and Wilson. I think Krupi and Wilson. I would go. I would go Wilson with the risk that Ryan lad who's just signed could play instead of Krupi. Jimenez has been playing fantastic on that right. Could Ryan play on the left? Evan Nielsen up front. Through the middle, maybe we could see Krupi, but I think Wilson's a safer option that for this week, mate. Tiano Barry, a goodbye. You know what? He's been really good in the past few. Been really good in the past few weeks. I had him in another fantasy game I played when he scored the other week, which I was quite happy about. João Pedro, Evan Nielsen. Evan Nielsen. Connor says, this week I have Dubravka, Mukele, Gabriel, Timber, Wilson, Bruno, Semenyo, Haaland, Wirtz, Robbie Pedro, bench, Pickford, and Jai, Rodon Hall. Don't know who your captain, and that bench is in set. Who'd you bench? Ooh. Dubravka would be Pickford for me, and maybe I would leave it at that. Who to captain would be Bruno Fernandes. He's the best captain this week. João Pedro going to start, says Harry. We hope so. It could be the case that we see Delap start. Rosinia's played with Delap before. It's one of them ones where if you've got João Pedro, you play him. If you're looking to buy, you could maybe hold off. Braden just jumped in YouTube chat. How you doing, Braden, lads? Nice to see you in here. Zafran says, I'm at 2 mil rank right now. Can I still finish in the top 250k? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. A few good weeks and you'll absolutely fly up. How about Enzo as captain? I think he's sort of maybe my fourth. To be fair, he's probably the third best captain this week now. I did a podcast earlier in the week with the founder of Night Managers. It's basically an FPL algorithm. It's one of the top performing ones in the space. And we had the captains as number 1, Bruno Fernandes. Number 2, Haaland. Number 3, I believe, was Ollie Watkins. But now with the news that of that injury, it pushes kind of Enzo up, in my opinion, as well. Because he should be on pens. But if Palmer starts, then he drops a bit. So for me, it would be the case that we go up to the top. Bruno Fernandes, number 1. Second, Haaland. If you have any of those two, I'd focus on them personally. Shout out to Wilson. So you'd go Pedro over Njai and take the risk. I would take the risk, yeah. I would. If you don't want to take the risk, you could go Njai over. You could. Joshua says I'm working with this pile of Raya, Gehi, Gabriel, Adelreiti, Tarkovsky, Wilson, Foden, Soboslai, Haaland, Ekatike, Thiago, few subs, 1 free transfer. It's not even that bad. It really isn't that bad, Joshua. I think last week you just got a bit unlucky. Harvey Gibbs says, I'm Ogs. Is it worth doing Foden to Bruno and Bruno G to Anderson for a -4 to free up some money? Yep, I would do it. I would do those moves exactly. Even though it's -4, I still would do it. If you could afford Foden to Bruno in just one transfer, I would maybe do that. Just one move. Do you think Cunha will start? I do, actually. I do think Cunha will start this week. How nailed is Krupi? Not very. Not very nailed. This is how I see Bournemouth sort of playing in the next few weeks. I see Tavernier coming back next week or the week after. I see Adil, Ryan, Alex Jimenez, Tavernier, Krupi. I am missing another winger here who can play out wide, but we have 5 or 6 players who can play across sort of 3 positions. It's one of those. Brooks. Alex Scott could play as well, but he normally plays a bit deeper in the midfield. yeah, for me, Kroupy, it's really really weird where you're like you could have a really amazing FPL option, but there's so many options out there to start in those positions that minutes are going to be down. I think Evan Nielsen is the best Bournemouth player you can buy right now for an attacker. Tavernier when he's back. That's just my initial thoughts with that. Muzz says Ronaldo or Harry Maguire. If you got Harry Maguire, play him this week. If you got Harry Maguire, play him. Ronaldo for Sunderland. We the problem with Sunderland assets this week and last week is we didn't have Granit Xhaka. We won't have him for the next 2 games. That could really impact us. I think we'll look better at home this week and better in general after experiencing not playing with Granit Xhaka. So for me, for your team, it would be Harry Maguire. Alex says, thoughts on Munoz coming back? Do you know what? It's exciting because he was a great option before his injury. And of course, you know, that break of AFCON where we didn't have Sarr as well, both of them being back now, it is quite exciting. It is. Orange Apple says, Virgil van Dijk to Munoz, or Dorgu to Senesi/Gehi. For me, Virgil van Dijk is one of the ones where longer term, I think we're going to benefit holding on to him orange. I have him as well, of course. Dorgu, you're not going to get any value from him. He's not going to be playing. The difference between Senesi and Gehi for me is obviously Senesi has that DEFCON ability every single game week. Gehi doesn't, but he has better clean sheet ability. Senesi has good long-term fixtures as well. I would personally look to Senesi, but Gehi as well is a good option. Who's the best replacement for Bruno Guimaraes outside of Enzo and Rodgers? Elliot Anderson. Absolutely. The thing is, it doesn't look bad on paper, Josh referring to his team, but it performs terribly. Gonna hold transfers this week. It's too difficult to work with 1 free transfer and 0 in the bank. Praying this week it's just better than last. I think it will be, mate. I think it will be. Murillo worth a punt? Maybe. I'm trying to think of who I would go for instead, but I don't think anyone's really popping to mind. Do you know what? Yeah. I think he's worth a punt if you're desperate for a new kind of differential defender. I think so. And Mbeumo buy, yeah. And Mbeumo, I think you could buy him because he should start up front. He should start up front as your number 9, and then could just go to the right hand side at any point when Sesko comes on or Cunha comes on, whoever it is. I think Cunha will start though on the left. But yeah. Thiago or what was that? Where's it gone? Joel, there we go. Start Thiago or Estabao. Who's predicted to start for Chelsea? That's the worry because we always get in this situation. I don't think he's predicted to start, is he? I'll go Thiago. He's not predicted to start, but yeah. I know you're going to say Captain Bruno, but I'm thinking Semenyo again this week. Yeah, Semenyo's fun. Semenyo's a fun one. Night manager team. You can track the night manager's team through their socials if you want to do so, mate. But you obviously can't see the moves till after the deadline. You can sign up for a 2 free week trial though if you use the link in my bio. Someone has said Friday night dinner. Yes, we get it all the time on stream. I love it. We don't get that many Harry Potters anymore, which is upsetting. I quite like being called Harry Potter sometimes. What do you think about Haaland and 2 4.5 forwards, Mane and Kroupy, going big at the back and the mid? I don't think there's that much value in going big at the back and mid right now. I would say Haaland's. I mean, you could have anyone up front. I think there's value in the forwards at the moment, in like an Evan Nielsen and a Thiago, especially longer term. Who's the best midfielder under 5 million? Ooh. Let's have a look, eh? We'll have a look. I'd say Dewsbury Hall. I'd say Dewsbury Hall. You'd be coming back, so yeah, Dewsbury Hall. I'm gonna go Dewsbury Hall. Heard Senesi might move to Juve though. Ooh, is he? I haven't heard that. What about 5.5 for a midfielder? Elliot Anderson. Is Alex Scott a good buy? Alex Scott's not bad. Alex Scott's not bad. What's your rank? 571k. Had a lovely green arrow last week. Lovely green arrow. Joseph Middleton says, Tarkovsky or Mukiele. This week, I would go Mukiele. If Leeds score, you're cooked. Yep. Nah, there's been weeks where my Arsenal haven't got a clean sheet and I've still had a big green arrow, so not fully cooked. I would prefer it if they did keep a clean sheet, though. I'll be honest with you, bro. Why is everyone selling Bruno G? Should I sell him for Verts? I think Bruno G's fixtures just aren't very good. I don't think he's a massively high value player. I think there's value elsewhere. I would sell him down rather than up, but yeah. Nah, Leeds scoring, bro. We're good at home. Yeah, I've said this all week through my YouTube videos and stuff. That it easily could be the case that Arsenal concede this week. But with that double game week potentially coming in 26, it doesn't mean I'm going to sell them, you know? I think that's what people are referring to most of the time in chat here. Tarkovsky or Mukiele, torn who to bench. I'd bench Tarkovsky this week. I'd play Mukiele, being the home fixture. I don't know how to say that. We'll call you the number at the end. 8174. 3 options to play. Esteve or Keane to Maguire, or Keane to Munoz, and downgrade Dorgu -4. I wouldn't take the -4 option. I'd go probably to Maguire. Or Keane is probably a more safe option, but then we're chucking in Branthwaite, potentially coming back soon. Start 3. Senesi Ekatike, Virgil van Dijk, Igor Thiago, Haven. Our bench Haven. And you could bench Igor Thiago. You could, yeah. I think Virgil, if you can bench as well, that wouldn't be so bad. But being at home's all right. Yeah, I think Haven's dropped out now. Orange as an option, really. Bruno in for Saka or Tav. I wouldn't be selling Saka ahead of the potential double game week because you might want to get him back in. I'd sell Tav because of his injury. You can always get Tav back in whenever. He's so cheap. Zafran says, I think Enzo would play as a 6 because Palmer might play. Yeah. Sorry, I missed Joseph's message there. Is Enzo a viable captain, or is Bruno Fernandes just a better option? Bruno Fernandes is a better option. He's still a viable captain, but I would say Bruno Fernandes is the much better option this week. If Palmer starts, Enzo could play deeper. Enzo could play a more advanced, and Palmer could play on the right. There's a lot of things that could happen. We're still early into Rosinia's sort of time at Chelsea, so we're still figuring things out. Archie says Mukiele, Dallo, or Konsa. Mukiele this week. Dallo's okay as well. Enzo Lefebvre, triple captain. Go on, lad. Go on. I love Enzo, man. Enzo Lefebvre. That's the proper Enzo. Jimenez for Bournemouth. Thoughts? I think he's a great player. I think he's been playing fantastic past few games. As an FPL option, he's okay. I would say he's okay. Reese says, start 1, Virgil van Dijk, Thiago, Wilson, or Raul. Ooh, start one of them. Oh my god. I would say Wilson. I would say Wilson or Thiago. I'd say Wilson or Thiago. That's tough, man. That is tough. Sorry, my YouTube's bugging out. I don't know if you answered my question about top three captains. Top three captains this week. Bruno, Haaland. Third is hard. Third is hard. Third is hard because of the news we had yesterday. Originally, we were going to say Ollie Watkins for the third best captain, but we don't know if he's going to start. We also could say Enzo Fernandez easily as third, but we don't know if he's going to be playing as a number 10. And Pens. Yeah, it's a hard one with the third one. I would say Enzo. I would say Enzo. But it's tough, man, with that decision. Croupy or Cherky, please answer. I'd go. Oh, I'd go Croupy with the fixture. But I think Cherky could be okay within like 70 minutes of the game. I think he comes off early or potentially doesn't start this week. I don't see the player hard on FPL. Pause. Yeah, I think the third best captain is hard to pick. I think it is. Palmer or Enzo? Enzo. João Pedro's decent, but I think expected minutes could be slightly down. We'll have to wait and see with this week, I think. Rodgers or Semenyo long term? Rodgers. I would say Rodgers. Leeds are getting better game by game. As a United fan, I'll back Fernandes more than Haaland. Nice, bro. Should I start Croupy or Gahey? I'd go Croupy. Cunha, Gabriel or Haaland captain? Ooh. Wow. It would probably be Haaland. I know that's probably the boring answer that you maybe don't want, Orange Apple, but you know what I mean. He's the second best captain this week for me. If you want a differential captain, Cunha could be fun, but is he guaranteed to start? Could we see Ahmad over there? Could we see? It's one of them ones where it's maybe a bit risky for captaincy. Gabriel, on the other hand, could be a captain. I just wouldn't do it away from home. I think Haaland's your guy, Orange. So Calvert-Lewin or Garner? I'd go Garner. Palmer best differential, you mean? I don't think he's a differential. I mean, no, he is actually 11% owner. You're absolutely right. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say he's the best differential. No. Joseph says he's going to stick it on Bruno and pray. That's what I'm doing for captaincy this week. Haaland's still a good option if you're not up to it. Braden says I reckon Pedro rested for Arsenal. Oh, for the cup fixture. Maybe. I understand your reasoning there. And Mbeumo or Bruno G. And Mbeumo. O'Reilly or Keane. This week I'd go Keane. Switch both of the Andersons. No. Not this week, surely. Not this week. Zafran says, stick with Raya instead of Timber. Also, Cash or Senesi long term. I mean, Senesi is the long term option there, but Cash is still really good. Orange said, I think I'm going to bench Virgil van Dijk. I think Thiago could score against any team. So, yeah, I think that's not a bad option. It's just with Virgil van Dijk having a home fixture, it's like, it is hard to bench him. But my reasoning for keeping... Because the plan was for me this week is I could have went Thiago, João Pedro, and then had him for 3 weeks, selling back to Thiago. But Thiago can just score against anyone. I think Villa's a really hard match, and maybe we won't see that so much this week. But within the fixtures after Newcastle, he definitely could score against Arsenal. I think there's a chance there because they're playing at home. So yeah, we're gonna hold it. We're gonna hold it. I understand the benching of Virgil though, Orange. I do. Do you think Man United will continue this form? Yes. Yes, I do. Keen or Gusto? Keen. JP says Ekatike. Oh, the message is gone as soon as I start reading. Ekatike or Ghana, and also should I have any City defenders, O'Reilly or Gehi? If you're having any City defender, for me it would be Gehi. O'Reilly's minutes are now at risk. Ekatike or Ghana would probably fall to Ekatike. That's how I'd play it. Pardon me. Defense of Gabriel, Alderete, and Senesi this week. Decent. Absolutely. That's a brilliant defense, actually. Absolutely, yeah. Senesi worth a shot. Yeah, I would say so. Calvert-Lewin for a triple clean sheet wipeout. Yeah, he absolutely could this week. Absolutely. Sorry, bro, didn't hear you. Can you repeat? Yeah, if I remember correctly, you were asking about starting Ekatike or Ghana, JP. I would start Ekatike this week. And also with your City defender, for me, it would just be the case that you go Gehi rather than anyone else. I think he's the safest bet. Can you rate my midfield? Semenyo, Bruno, and Mbeumo, Estevao? I would give it like a 6 because you've got the best FPL player in the game in there. A few good options, but Estevao, I don't know if he starts every single week. You know what, I'll give it a 7. I think it's better than that. Braden says I might sell Haaland soon. Why is that, mate? Why is that? You're eyeing up Mohamed Salah? To be fair, I could do that, you know. Njai, Ahmad, or Anderson. Anderson, I think, out of those, Charlie, is the best cheap option there. Ahmad could turn into one if he keeps getting minutes, but we need to keep an eye on that personally for a little while. Fulham is a good side. Don't captain Bruno Fernandes. Nah, Bruno's my captain this week. That's locked in. Brian Brobby on my mind. He's on my mind. He's not on my FPL team though, which I'm a bit sad about. But what can you do? You can't have everyone. You can't have everyone. How many overall points do you have? Honestly, mate, I don't know about overall points. I just know rank. I'm 571k. If that helps you in any way. Wilson or Munoz? If you've got Munoz, playing him isn't a bad shout this week, but Wilson feels still pretty good. Did you say Keane over Gusto? I did, mate, yeah. Start Thiago or Rodgers, I think that said. I'd give Rodgers the home fixture. Haaland's been so shite recently. Robbie brace. Yeah, I hope Robbie gets a brace. Haaland has been disappointing. And the thing with Haaland as well is his numbers have went down drastically. We could see a shift within the next few weeks, honestly, of a template that goes from away from Haaland and back to Salah. We genuinely could see that. That this is an early prediction from me, but we genuinely could see that format becoming a little bit more template than it is. Sorry if I'm asking too much. You cannot ask too many questions, Zafran. Not at all. Ask away, brother. Senesi and Rodon or Cash and Hill? Ooh, 4.8 and 3.9. Do you know what? I'll give you a hand with this one because there is a few picks you could go for. 4.8 is a weird price tag, but we'll have a look. Senesi's probably the one at 4. Do you know what? I'd probably go Senesi. The Senesi route, Zafran, yeah. Evan Nielsen or Thiago captain? It'd probably be Evan Nielsen if you wanted to pick one of them two. Is it dumb to be wildcarding without Haaland? I think if you really, really want to, I would say you could. And if I had a midfield where I had the money that I didn't have Haaland for, so like that extra money, sorry, it would be Salah, Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Enzo Anderson. That would be my midfield and a wild card for 24 without Erling Haaland. Evan Nielsen or Thiago until game week 31. Thiago. Snessi and Road on that? Yes. Yeah. Zafran, I think I would go that way. Okay, I've been looking at options for me this week, says Joshua. And I think this was the best one. Could be Foden at Enzo. Yeah. I think that. Do you know what? I think that could be an okay move, Joshua, this week for you. I think Foden's minutes, well, expected minutes, should be down. Yeah, I think that's not a bad option. I don't mind that. You could roll if you really, really think you can survive this week, though. But I think Enzo's a good option to have there. JP not starting, I think. It's probably a bit too early for leaks, but there is a situation where João Pedro doesn't play this week and he comes off the bench. That could be real, because I've said it a few times this stream. I don't know if people already know, but Delap played under Rosinia before. He likes him a lot. I don't know. I think he'll start and come off a bit earlier, personally. Appreciate you telling us the points, Braden, as well. I think, was that Braden? Oh, no, it was Josh. Sorry. It was Josh. Mogs, you got 1,301 points, my brother. Thank you so much, Josh. Yeah. Quite a lot of points, but obviously the rank, I would love to be a bit higher. Bruno G or Esteban? I'll go Bruno G, because I don't think, personally, that Esteban will start this week. Sorry, guys. Do I play Richards? Yeah. Are you going to the Burnley game? No, mate. I haven't got a ticket, mate. I'm trying to think of what I could do for the game. I might do something, but I might just stay in, to be honest. I'm quite busy. Jack says Haaland, Watkins, Fernandes captain. It'd be Fernandes for me. I think the order of captaincy you've got there is Fernandes, Haaland, Watkins, but Watkins, with that doubt that he could be starting, it's not great. Shocking defence, mate. Do you reckon? How so? How so, bro? Is Enzo a good captain? I need a differential. How come you need a differential, bro? If you've got Bruno Fernandes, he's a good differential captain this week. In fact, he's the best captain this week, I think. You the man, Mogs. Miss you, pal. Thank you, Jack, man. Nice to have you back in, bro. How you doing, Jack, though? How you doing? Nice to have you in. Pedro captain. I think I'd stay away from it this week. 3 Arsenal defenders and Van Dijk. Yeah, this week, that's what I'm setting up as. I mean, Arsenal are the best defence in the league. Van Dijk, I'm holding on to longer term. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad, Drew. I don't. Fell off last week, mate. Down to 80k overall. You're still up there, though, Jack. You're still up there. Last week was one of those weeks where, obviously, the most owned player in the game, the most captain player in the game, was benched. So a few people had a really bad game week last week. Those who stayed on the stream, though, did get the leak from myself, so hopefully you guys took advantage of it. James says Senesi or Mukiele. This week I'd go Mukiele. Home fixture for Sunderland. We're always good at home. Evan Nielsen up front and or Gahey at the back. Evan Nielsen up front. If you got Evan Nielsen, play him. This might be the last week he's on pens for Bournemouth if Tavernier's back next week. Take advantage of it. I'm captaining Enzo. Nice, Alfie. Nice. Which game week is the best for triple captain? I think it will be 26 on Saka or Gabriel. At the moment, my plan is to triple captain Gabriel in game week 26. Wait and see who goes through for Arsenal or Chelsea to see who has a double. Absolutely. I do think it will be Arsenal, though, with the lead they've got going in. Captain Evan Nielsen, says Laney. Yeah, I mean, I think there's better options, but if you really want to, it isn't that bad because he'll have penalties. It's Wolves. You know, there is upside there, but I think there's more opportunity for Bruno Fernandes and Haaland this week. Why not Haaland? I think Bruno's the better captain this week. Haaland's still good if you want to go that way, though. Not saying he's a terrible captain. He's my second best this week. He's my second best captain this week. Enzo or João Pedro? Enzo. Gabriel and Mbuemo captain. If I was going to go for one of them, I'd go Mbuemo. Who would Arsenal be playing? Or Chelsea? Chelsea, I don't know too much. I think is it Newcastle and Everton? Let me check about the Chelsea one. I know for Arsenal, it's Brentford and Wolves away. For Chelsea, I think... Oh, no, it's Leeds. Leeds and Everton for Chelsea, I think. Or is it Newcastle? I don't think it's Newcastle. I think it's Leeds and Everton, or Newcastle and Leeds. I do think it'll be Arsenal, though, bro. I do apologise. I know it seems like you're a Chelsea fan, Braden. Are you a Chelsea fan, mate? Surely if Leeds score, you're done for? Not exactly. I've had weeks where triple Arsenal defence hasn't got me the clean sheet, but I've had a really nice green arrow. Mbuemo or Fernandes? Fernandes. How are you doing, James? Is it worth a bench boost? I have Senesi, Timber. Oh, no, that's not the right one. I have Senesi, Tarkovsky, Krupi, and Dubravka on my bench. I would say hold it. I think there's a better opportunity later in the season. I still don't love benching and Jai. I don't either, really, Connor. I don't. We've got a team in chat here. We've got Raya, Gabriel, Chalobah, Anderson, Saka, Wilson, Enzo, Bruno, Raul, Thiago, and Haaland. That's a nice team, bro. That is a nice team, man. Braden just said Chelsea are the best team in the world. You've never been to Sunderland, mate, have you? How set up are you with the Gabriel triple captain? That just seems crazy. I'm pretty set on it. Yeah. I've got Raya, Gabriel, Gehi, Mukele. Jord, that's a nice defence this week, actually, yeah. I wish I had a Sunderland defender for this week. I think we could get that clean sheet. What time is the deadline? It's in an hour's time. So it's at 1:30, mate. It's at 1:30. Could bench Harry Wilson? Yeah. I think that's a move where... Brighton away from it, they do concede. United have looked better, haven't they? You could do that move, Orange. Connor, man. Yeah, I don't mind it. Charlie says, Mogs, I don't know why gone for Evan Nielsen, save money, and go Kroopy. Oh, Evan Nielsen's on pens, mate. I did it last week, the move. I think Kroopy's minutes are much worse than Evan Nielsen's, personally, Charlie, lad. I like Evan Nielsen. Last week, scoring against Liverpool for me, he was absolutely fantastic. Pedro and Enzo captain. Enzo for me. Alexius says Haaland, Pedro, or Saka captain. Ooh, Saka thrown in the mix. Wow. I go Haaland. I know it's a boring answer, but I think he's the second best captain this week. What's your rank, says Vinny? 571k, Vinny. I've got Bruno captain. Nice, George. Same here. Same here, man. Charlie says, bench 2, play 2. DCL, Wilson, Bruno G, Tarkovsky. I will be playing Tarkovsky and Wilson or Bruno G. I'd say Wilson. I'd go Tarkovsky and Wilson there, Charlie. That's a tough call, though. What two should I start out of? Krupi, Wilson, or Cunha, says Jack. I'd start Krupi and Cunha. I'd start Krupi and Cunha there. I think that's quite a fun set of starts there. Yasif says, have Saka and Gabriel in the wild card, Rice or Timber for the third Arsenal player. Timber. Bruno Fernandes or Mbeumo captain. Bruno Fernandes, he is the best captain for me this week. Where will Oscar Bob play? Will he start right mid and Wilson at 10, or will he just get benched? I can see Bob playing on the right-hand side and Wilson drifting somewhere else. Maybe Bob could play left wing, but is that going to be his best position? Krupi is on pens? No, he's not. Concert or Maguire? -4. My defense is a mess. I'd probably go Maguire. Yeah, he is. Krupi is not on pens, bro. He is not. Corey, I'm starting against Bottomless. What's your outcome? What do you mean? Oh, do you mean Bottomless Brunch, bro? Ewan. Lucy says, thoughts on Granite being out for 3 weeks? Lucy, I'm absolutely devastated by it. I think last week was a lesson learned, Lucy. So, for me, it's an easy fix where we'll put in probably within the midfield, Diarra back in there, Siddiqui, and maybe we'll get a bit more solidity there. I would like personally to see Gertruda as well. Ewan says aye. Ooh, Ewan versus Bottomless Drinks. I think the Bottomless Drinks win in the 93rd minute. Yeah, Ewan, I think you're cooked, mate. I think you're cooked, bro. Why don't you think João is good? I do think João Pedro is good, but I am worried about his expected minutes. Finn sending all of the flame hearts. I didn't even realise you were doing that, Finn. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much. 70 flame hearts from Finn. Finn, you're an absolute legend, bro. Appreciate that, man. I really do. Nico says hi. How you doing, Nico? Just what briefs for sells because of Ortega's transfer. Good move. Ooh, yeah, I don't mind that. Crazy Edit says start Keane or Virgil. I'd go Virgil, but Keane is probably going to be the more favoured option by a lot of people. Cam says Keane or O'Reilly. I'd go Keane. I don't know if O'Reilly definitely starts. I have like a horrible hiccupy thing. Need a drink or something. Which X accounts as the best at leaking lineups? I want to see Chelsea's. Honestly, it comes from a magnitude of different sources. We have to sort of look at X and hope that some of the bigger creators get the news privately, which sometimes happens. It's one of those weeks where I don't expect to get team leaks. However, we will, of course, be looking as always. Who do you support? I support Sunderland, mate. I support Sunderland, lad. Adam says Semenyo/Rogers or Mbeumo/Njai. For me, Semenyo or Rogers, I would give to... I would give... Who would I give that to? I'll say Semenyo for that one. Mbeumo/Njai, I would give to Mbeumo. I'll take Sunderland over Liverpool. Nice. I have 2 Sunderland players. Get in, lads. That's what I like to hear. What 2 should I start out? Krupi, Wilson, and Cunha. Jack, I would go for Krupi and Cunha. I think that's a quite nice starting 2 there. with the fixtures in hand. And of course, Wilson's a good option. I think he has been for many, many weeks, but I do like those other two slightly better, I think. Start Haaland over Wilson. Yes, if you got Haaland, you have to play him. He's not an option you can put on your bench, really, you know. Gibbs White, Anderson. Haaland hat-trick, do you reckon? I don't know, man. Palmer captain, I wouldn't personally this week, no. Not for me. Prediction for the Sunderland match. Yeah. Honestly, I'd say 2-0 or 1-0. I think we'll just nick it. Spurs are poor. They are poor, but they normally do quite well against City. Pedro captain, not for me this week. Evan Nielsen captain. Evan Nielsen captain's fun, but I think there are better options this week. I hope he does really well, though. I had him last week. He did well. Let's see if he gets back-to-back goals for me in my FPL team. Nico says, should I sell Kelleher? And if best replacement, 4.8. I wouldn't replace Kelleher. I'll just keep him long-term. His fixtures are really, really good. You don't want to be wasting transfers on a goalkeeper, Nico. I reckon just keep him. Best captaincy option this week, Bruno Fernandes. Who should I get as striker? I have Haaland and Thiago. Evan Nielsen's a good third option. Who's Sunderland playing? Burnley at home. Not FPL context, but how will Sunderland do while Granit Xhaka is injured? Watch them against the Hammers. They aren't looking great. I think the difference in the game versus West Ham and the game we're having against Burnley on Monday night is we have looked at how to start without Granit Xhaka, and it did not work. Trey Hume was terrible within that position. He is a right back. He should not be playing in that position. We will set up in a different way against Burnley. I can almost guarantee you that. So I expect a much more chilled week, holding the ball a bit longer. Who's our captain this week, says Sarah? Bruno Fernandes is my captain. Haaland, for me, second best option. You could go there as well. I think them two are the real standouts this week. Captain or vice, one of them two. Who are you feeling? Any leaks about João Pedro starting? It's a bit too early. We've got 51 minutes now to the deadline. So we probably won't hear till, I would like to say 10 minutes before the deadline. The problem with João Pedro, and Sarah's asking another question here about what about João Pedro against West Ham for captaincy. I think the issue is there is a world absolutely where Delap could start. And with that in the back of your mind, it doesn't fall to captaincy this week, sadly, Sarah. But as an option, if I had him, I'd play him. I wouldn't captain him. Hopefully, we'll get a leak in the last 10 minutes to the stream. Avoid Arsenal players. We've absolutely folded IMO. You're still the best defence in the league, though, aren't you? He's still the best defence in the league. Lewis says, hi, mate. 2 quick questions. Pick 2 of Njai, Mukele, or Munoz. And would you take a -4 Watkins to Evan Nielsen? Firstly, I wouldn't take that -4. I can tell you that straight away. The other 2, the pick 2, is a lot harder than that. I would go definitely Mukele. I think clean sheet potential this week for Sunderland is quite high. Between Njai and Munoz, I would say Njai. I would. But Munoz does feel like a nice differential option. It's just Palace are a bit crap. Should I bench Wilson? You could bench Wilson, yeah. But a lot of people are looking to bench Wilson this week. I've had a lot of people say that to me. Mubarak says Enzo or Foden. Enzo. Is Ahmad instead of Bruno a good differential? I think he's an okay differential, yeah. But I would have Mbuemo if you can afford. Ellis says, should Igor Thiago go in for Ekatike or Harry Wilson? Do you know what? I really do like Igor Thiago in any fixture. I do. If it was anyone, it would be Wilson. But if he scored against United, it really wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. Bruno G or Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes is the guy. Bruno Fernandes is the boy this week. Will Mbuemo get 90? He'll get a lot of minutes. I don't think he'll get exactly 90. Robbie captain? Yeah, you could do. I think Bruno and Haaland are the best options, though. Robbie's a fun one. If I cement, if I wildcarded, who would you rather pick? Semenyo or Pedro for Chelsea? Ooh, I would go Semenyo. Why do Zafran says? Why do they sell or loan? I don't know, Neil. Isn't he a great? Yeah, he was. Yeah. So I think with Dan Neil at Sunderland, he was on the way out. He wasn't going to be playing. He wasn't going to get the minutes. He wouldn't get at Sunderland what he needed for his career. I think the move was already done, realistically, by the West Ham game with the medical happening, so we couldn't really start him there. It is gutting to see him go, but he needs to be out there playing games. Is Pedro even starting a day after a full 90 versus Napoli? That's the worry. The lap could start. That is a worry. We're going to hopefully get a leak before the deadline hits in about 40 minutes' time, but I think it is unlikely. Time for O'Reilly and Ekitike to go. O'Reilly, I would say yes. Ekitike, I would still consider long term, but I think he's on the way out. I would say so. Would you captain Mbuemo over Bruno if you had him? No. No. I think it comes down to, look, I don't know if you managed to give it a watch, Orange, earlier in the week, but I did a podcast on my YouTube channel with the founder of the Night Manager's algorithm, Sam Harwood. We had a really deep discussion about Bruno Fernandes, and many algorithms don't have him as the best captain this week, but the Night Manager's algorithm actually has Bruno Fernandes as the top performer in FPL as out of everyone. So they have him as the best FPL asset you can own. In terms of captaincy this week, Bruno is just better than Mbuemo in my eyes because of the options for points for him. Obviously, in any given week, Mbuemo could outscore Bruno, and it could happen this week. But for me, yeah, for me, Bruno's the guy. George says, is this a good team? Sanchez, Chalobah, Gabriel, Mukele, Tarkovsky, Bruno captain. I've just scrolled past Enzo, Njai, Semenyo, Haaland. Yeah, I would say so. I think that's a really nice team, actually. And Jai's a good option. You're someone from chat, Barry or João Pedro. I'd go João Pedro and hope he plays. But yeah, nice team, George. I just read it out there, bro. Timber and Mukele or Gehi and Tarkovsky. Timber and Mukele, George. George Coleman. There was another George. I don't want to get confused there. Yusuf says, I think that says Chalobah, Timber, Gabriel, or Romero, Chalobah, Gabriel. Already got 2 Chelsea in, Enzo and Pedro. For me, it would be Chalobah, Timber, and Gabriel. I think that's the much better options. I meant Romero in the first one. So for me, it would be Chalobah, Gabriel, Timber as your options. Yeah. I think that's the best way I would do it. If that's what you mean. Should I captain Haaland? Yeah, you could do. So Sunderland will play 4-4-2 onwards with Lafay and Siddiqui until Xhaka's back. Probably not. We'll probably play our normal formation. But yeah, I'm trying to think of. I think Gertrude should start in the middle instead of Xhaka. I think he can do a similar role. Siddiqui can do that role, but we do need him dropping in the half spaces in the midfield. Would you field Alderete ahead of João Pedro or Chalobah? I would field him ahead of João Pedro, not Chalobah. Why triple stacking an Arsenal defence are the best defence in the league? And there's also a double game week, hopefully coming for them in game at 26. Triple captain Gabriel in that week for me. If I had Saka, I would do him, but is Palmer an okay captain, or is he not? Because, I mean, Haaland captain, Palmer captain is one of those ones where the injury is holding him back from being a good captain this week. I think if we didn't have that injury, problem every single week, it doesn't seem like a problem when he plays. But then after games, he complains. I don't know. But I don't see him as a captaincy option because of that. Is Timber injured? No. He is not. I think he just got a rest in the Champions League, and FPL flagged him. God knows why. Imagine he's just completely injured and we're just starting him for no reason. It was class, to be fair. What, the podcast, Connor? Oh, yeah, I did see your comment on it, actually. Appreciate that, Connor. Hopefully we're going to have another podcast soon with Sam. I might get some other FPL creators on a pod as well, like FPL Tom. I'm good mates with as well now, so we'll see if we can get him on Golden Goal as well. Potentially, we'll see. Never forget your day one. Famous now, more handsome too. Owen, you're a legend, mate. I will absolutely never forget my day ones. Never, Owen. Nice to have you in, man. Even though I know you don't play FPL, it's just nice to have you in chat, bro. Should have listened to me last week about Bruno captain. I should have, yeah. I captained Thiago. Help, Cunha or Rodgers captain? Ooh, I would probably go neither. But if I had to pick, I would go Cunha. It's a little bit of a differential. Braden sent a rose and heart me. I appreciate that, Braden. I really do. I really do, man. Thank you. Lacroix, Virgil start. I'd go Virgil. A says, should I captain Enzo? Enzo's not bad as captaincy this week. Not at all. I do think Bruno and Haaland are the number 1 and number 2 options, though. I think they have the best potential this week. Rig is talented, though. He'd do great. Yeah, Rig's good player. I think there is a lineup in which he could start Chris Rig. But I think in a game like that, it's going to be physical. I think it'll be physical. David says, Semenyo or Rodgers on a wild card. I'd probably fall onto Semenyo. It's close between the two, but I think I would just about go Semenyo. Tarkovsky or Chow? Tarkovsky. Ahmad says Bruno or Haaland captain. Bruno. Is Maguire a good pick? Says Dot. Yeah, I think he's not bad. Bruno will blank. You heard it here first. I haven't heard it here first. I've heard it a few times this stream. No, I think he'll do good this week. Start Tarkovsky or double Arsenal defence. I'd do double Arsenal defence. Good fixture this week. Bowen or what? Bowen or Wilson? I'd go Wilson. Brobby or Thiago this week. I'll go Brobby. Why not? If you've got him, I think that's a decent one. I think I'll play both, on all honesty. Chalobah, Pickford, or Chalobah... Oh no, Tarkovsky and Pickford was that. But yeah, I've just lost that message so quick. Where's that gone? Sorry, Chapman. Coach Chapman. We've got Chalobah and Pickford, or Tarkovsky and Sanchez. That's who it was. I go Chalobah and Pickford. Ben's in the chat. Yes, Ben. Where is he? We've also got 2 Bens. Ben Thomas will answer your question first because you were just ahead. Thinking bench boost, Scott Dubravka and Jai Van Heck Wilson. I would hold off on bench boost personally. I think it'll be better used later in the season. Ben, I remember you from last week and the week before, and probably the week before that. He's got his team: Pickford, Mukiele, Romero captain. This guy always captains Romero. He's got Botman, Miley, Saka, Odegaard, Rodri, Palmer. What the hell? Barry and Solanke. Ben, you're a legend, mate. Hope captain goes well for you, bro. Go get that clean sheet. Let Haaland blank. Shout out, Ben, man. Go live stream with them big boys, boss. Yeah, Zafran, to be fair, we might do soon. Not even live stream, though, a podcast. We could do podcast with a few of the other creators in the space. Alan says triple captain, João Pedro. No. I think it's a risky one this week. I wouldn't triple captain in a single game week, personally, at the end of the season. Yeah, that's what I would say. Gumarez, yeah, I just fell off FPL. Oh, it's Jamie, isn't it? Nice to have you in, Jamie, man. You're not having a good few weeks, Jamie, no? Nico says sell Semenyo to Enzo and Tavernier, or Tavernier to Enzo. Do Tavernier to Enzo, absolutely, yeah. Tavernier to Enzo. No, it must be a live stream. Yeah, I could live stream with some others, but I think it's dependent because everyone's got different teams. Afram, we could see how that works. So I'll have a look into it, bro. Essentials on a wild card. I wouldn't say there's essentials, but I would say there are people you should look at. There would of course be Bruno Fernandes, Haaland, and Enzo, and Gabriel, and Timber. I think they're pretty good halves. Ben says Romero Capto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ben, I just hope it works this week. If Spurs get a clean sheet against City, I will be ecstatic. So I don't want Haaland to do a single thing this week. Best three Chelsea to have. Enzo top. Chalobah second, Palmer third, if Palmer is available. We just don't know right now because of the injury, and that's why he's number 3. Who will start for Newcastle winger-wise? I think it'll probably be pretty similar to what we've seen before, bro. Probably Gordon and Barnes. Jacob Murphy's trained, to be fair, but I don't think he'll start. Yassif says he's got his team in the chat, actually. He's got a wild card. Sanchez, Timber, Gabriel, Chalobah, Rogers, Saka, Anderson, Bruno, Fernandes, Haaland, Evan Nielsen, wild card. Nice. I like that team. Alanga is Starboy. Alanga is terrible, mate. Alanga is maybe some of the worst business that Newcastle has done in years, and they've spent a lot of money. Dirty oil money. Ben says connection is really bad, so I'll see you later, mate. Mate, enjoy your week, Ben. Let us know how you do. Give us a DM, bro. Nico says bench 1, Lafay, Semenyo, Wirtz, Bruno Fernandes for Enzo in the starting lineup. Bench Lafay. If Sunderland finishes top 6, I'll buy you a season ticket. Braden, the problem is I can't go every single game. And I don't want to buy a season ticket and like not go to every single game, because I feel as though there are people out there who would do that, and it feels selfish that I'm buying a season ticket and going to like 85% of the games. You know what I mean? But you know, I buy tickets here and there when I can. I sometimes get invited to games as well. Pedro captain? No. Jimmy says, what is he saying? This is mad. That is mad. Watch when he scores today, Mogs. I don't miss. Yeah, Alanga could score today, but you have to be honest. Alanga's been some of the worst business Newcastle has done in years. He is shocking. By the way, I'm Bjorn. Oh, yes, you are. Nico, Bjorn, I don't know which you like to be called. Let me know. Zafran says, got to head off now. Thanks for the stream. Mogs, good luck this game week. Hopefully you get those green arrows, lads. Absolutely, Zafran. Absolutely. Enjoy your game week, Zafran, and enjoy your night, bro. I'll catch you later, man. Appreciate you coming in. Jed said start Wilson / Anderson for Fulham, or Shaw or Bruno Fernandes for Newcastle. I'd go and start. I'd probably go and start Wilson. I think it's a tough fixture for Newcastle. I'd go Wilson. I keep on like hiccuping. Starboy cooked Nuno Mendes. Jamie, stop talking. Alanga's terrible. Ask anyone. Nico, you saying you prefer to call Nico? That's fine, Nico. I recognised your little profile picture, man. I knew who it was. I've captained Matoma. Am I cooked? Probably, yeah. There's still time to change it. I'm joking, man. If you want to, you can, but it's a bit of a rogue one, isn't it? Salah under the radar? Yes. Yes. I won't say too much about it because I think I might cover it in a YouTube video soon, but I think there's genuinely a situation in the next few weeks where Salah becomes a bit more template. Someone just said FPL in the Big 26. Yeah. Oh my God. God forbid anyone plays FPL. There's only 12.8 million players, mate. Opinions on Captain and Pedro? I wouldn't, because there might be a case where he doesn't start, which is a bit tough. Still half an hour left to the deadline. Yeah, still half an hour to go. I feel it's one of them weeks where probably everyone's team is quite set. Like, there's not going to be a lot of changes for people this week, like late in the deadline. Dallo or Aldoretti home to Burnley, or Rodgers home to Brentford? I'd go Aldoretti. Can't buy Enzo. If I want, I have to sell maybe Ekitike or Virgil van Dijk. I mean, you could sell Ekitike. Igor Thiago or Igor Jesus? Oh, no, that was not the question. I've just read two questions in one. Where's that gone? Igor Thiago or Tarkovsky says Newton. I would start Igor Thiago. Any leaks? Not yet. We're still probably a little bit too early. Give it 15, 20 minutes and we'll have a little look. Why so many from Liverpool? I've only got two. Did pretty good for me last week. So we'll keep them in for the long term, I think. Sobosai could go soon, but Evan Nielsen is my captain. Thoughts? Yeah, it's pretty strong differential captain. I mean, I think he's differential enough. I would captain someone else personally, but, it's not bad this week. Thoughts on Palmer captain? I don't like it because there's a situation where he might not start. Personally, that's how I look at it. Munoz or Cash? Munoz. That's closer than I'm giving it credit to, though. We've got a question here. Start Chow or Collins? I'd go and say, I think we're back. This fucking shit, man. Wi-Fi, what you doing? Right. Don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi, but we are hopefully back now streaming. Sorry, everyone. We'll try catch up with the messages there. I've got rid of Haaland, 15 million for what exactly? I mean, you could say that for the last few weeks. It's not exactly like been terrible this season, though. I think it's in some teams viable to go without him. But yeah. For your question about Chow and Collins, it might have cut out when I had that bit of Wi-Fi trouble. I said you could start Malik Chow. Collins should be okay for DEFCON, though, if you want to go that route. Malik Chow too, I suppose. Justin from Leeds as a bench warmer, just for 3.9. I think Rodon's more nailed on. Can't hear? Then you've probably got your mic muted or something. Braden is getting battered in relegation as well. Oh, unlucky man. No sound detected. Is that better? Can you hear me now? The question again: Chow or Collins? Chow's decent. I probably would go that way. Collins good for Defcon. Would you start Thiago or Wilson? I think either way is really good. I think Thiago because of the pens. I would just about go. Triple Arsenal at the back is mad. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Final team this week. Raya, Gabriel, Alderete, Senesi, Rogers, Cunha, Semenyo, Enzo, Ekitike, Haaland captain, and Thiago. Absolutely class team, that. Cunha is such a fun one as well. Cunha is a fun one, Orange. One goal and you lose a clean sheet. Yeah, that's normally how it works. I'm joking, man. Yeah, absolutely. That is a criticism of the triple Arsenal defence, but it's the same for any team. The double game week in 26 could be the case that it lands on Arsenal. I'm keeping my triple Arsenal. I don't think there's any need to move it away. Can you give me any stats or data to help me decide on Njai or Wilson? Would there be any helpful from night managers or something maybe? I don't have direct access locally to the night manager's algorithm. It's just the case I am in contact with Sam Harwood, the founder, pretty much every day ish. And Jaya will. I mean, I would probably say for me, thinking a little bit about it, from a data point of view, technically Wilson has overperformed a lot. Technically, and Jai we haven't seen much of recently. I would personally look at the data and yourself and try come up with what you think, but I don't have access to the night manager's algorithm locally, I'm afraid. M says Captain Mbuemo or Haaland or Enzo Haaland. For me, M. Gail, is that Gal? No, Gal says Captain Mbuemo or Fernandes. Connor, if you give me 2 seconds, I'll have a little gander. That's going to be overrated, though. I would probably for me it would be NJ, but yeah. Really, Haaland this week? Why haven't you captained them? Because I have Bruno Fernandes. I don't think you mentioned Bruno in your list. Them. If you did, I'm sorry, and I would change that to Bruno Fernandes as my answer. For me, he's the best captain this week. Nico says, I will wait next week and see maybe Semenyo go and maybe Ekitike. Or is there any cheaper Chelsea players? I would keep it like that, Nico, if that seems better. Was thinking of Buemo, good captaincy, but not sure. I mean, yeah, decent. But I feel as though Bruno's the better one of the Manchester United assets. Haaland, for me, is better than Mbuemo as well. Do you think João Pedro will start? I think so, but I don't think his minutes will be amazing. Braden sent a blow the kiss a gift. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. I missed it. Start Chow or Collins. I would go Malik Chow, but Collins is good for DEFCON if you wanted to go that way. They've both got really hard games. Do you think Haaland will start? Yes. I'd go in Jai. Yeah, I think that's where I'd go as well, Orange. If we're taking form into account as well for our decision, I think obviously Manchester United have been really good recently. Yeah, I would probably go that way as well with that decision. João Pedro start? We don't know yet. We don't know. Reece James or Chalobah this week? I'd say Chalobah. Right, I'm gonna have a little look for some João Pedro news. I do not think we will get it though. Mm, no. No João Pedro news, sadly, folks. I will check again in about 5 minutes' time. It's one of them ones where it's not likely to happen right away. Any Palmer news? No. No team news as of yet, guys. We'll give it 5 minutes and check again. Yeah, lads, I'm going to go in Jai. If there's João Pedro doubt at all, though, I'll bench him for Wilson. I think there's already João Pedro doubt in the air. Whether we get an inkling of whether he starts or not, we'll see in a few minutes. That could help your decision, but it really wouldn't surprise me if João Pedro started and then came off early. But there's also that world where Delap could just start. I don't know. I can't quite. I think if I had a gun to my head right now, I would say João Pedro starts and comes off early. But hopefully we get that news for you. Rice or Thiago? I'd say Thiago. Oh, to be fair, the fixture for Rice is good. You know what? I'll go Rice. I'll say Rice. We'll go with the fixture there. Pedro in form? Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, but we're worried about his expected minutes this week. I think that's the big thing. Just travelling by says bench Thiago, Ekitike, and put Wilson on and have 5 in the midfield. I honestly would probably play both Ekitike and Thiago and bench Wilson. If there was any one of the two, Thiago and Ekitike, I would bench. It would be Ekitike. Yeah, I think so. Mateus Mane for doubling game week 26. Game week 26 doubles haven't been fully confirmed in terms of the teams playing, but it's likely to be Arsenal and Wolves. Mateus Mane in that game week would have Forest and Arsenal. Maybe a decent shout, yeah. Potentially. To be fair, maybe I'd go for a Wolves midfielder rather than Mateus Mane, but we'll see. Maybe I don't even bother with them. I probably won't. Played Hill from Bournemouth. Yeah, very nice, cheap option, actually. He's hit DEFCON every game he's played, I do believe, as well. Anthony, sorry, I missed your message, bro. Pickford, Michele, Dallo, Gabriel, Palmer, Fernandes, captain, Wilson, Rogers, and Jaibo and Thiago. Really nice differential team, Anthony. I like that. Should I captain Fernandes over Haaland? For me, I would. That's what I'm doing this week. I think he's the best captain. Connor said, so I'd assume you'd start Pedro over Wilson, assuming there's no leaks. Yeah. That's how I would personally do it, Connor. That's how I personally do it. Garnacho or Neto? I think they both play today. I would personally go Neto over Garnacho. Garnacho his minutes aren't as good as Pedro's. We'll say that. Pedro Neto's, I'm talking about there. Do you keep track with League 2? Not too much, no. Not too much. Yeah, I'll have a look here and there, like down the leagues and stuff and different leagues, but not all the time, no. I'll be honest. Will Haaland start? Yes. Would you sell Vandenberg for Chalobah and Thiago for Evan Nielsen next game week? We'll see how this game week goes with it, but I think Vandenberg is probably going to start back in the team for the first time. I think it's for the first time, actually, this week, so maybe that move's not necessary. We'll see, though. Ilanga Football says thoughts on Roofs, Gabriel, Virgil van Dijk, Michele, Wilson, Rogers and Jai, Morgan Gibbs White, Enzo, Ekitike and Haaland. I really do like that team. Ekitike is someone I would look to sell in the next few weeks. But yeah, I do still like the team. Thiago 0 points. How would he get 0? I don't know how you get 0. Nico sent his team in. Kelleher, Gabriel, Virgil van Dijk, Michele, Semenyo, Lefebvre, Bruno Fernandes, Ekitike, Haaland, Thiago. Best captain in that team for me would be Bruno Fernandes or Haaland. What's your overall rank? 571k. Evan Nielsen, Rogers, Rice. What about them, though? What about them? Wilson or Bruno G? Bruno G, I'll say. Oh, that's a hard one. Yellow card, 0 points. Yeah, if he comes off before 60, he'd be on 1 point if he got a yellow card because he normally plays past 60 minutes. So in your world, Thiago would have to come off before 6 minutes and get a yellow card within that 59 minutes, you could say. That could happen. We'll see. Neto good differential to Enzo. Yeah, I think Enzo's differential enough. What's his ownership at? 18%. Bloody hell, people have been buying them this week. What's his price? 6-7. Nice. Nice. Creepy Junior or Lafay. This week I'd go Lafay. Got pens as well. Orange Apple said I won my 18-game ACCA on the Europa League the other day. Wow. What was your payout thing? Like, what did you have on? What have you got active? Nothing. In terms of chips, nothing, Frankie. Start Evan Nielsen, Rodgers, or Rice. Evan Nielsen would be started for me. Then it would be Rice. Then it would be Rodgers. That's the order I'd start them. Evan Nielsen, Rice, Rodgers. What can start or not? I think he'll start. So if you have him, I'd play him. If you had him, I'd play him. Can nudes in bio please stop messaging in the chat? Get blocked, mate. Unlucky. I did some double chances, so it was like 8-1, so like under 60 quid. All right, nice. Yeah, you take that. You can take that. Van Heck or Tarkovsky, says Joe. I'll go Tarkovsky. Finn says O'Reilly or Anderson to start. Anderson, Finn. If you're talking about Forest Anderson, if you're talking about Fulham Anderson, it would be O'Reilly. Alderete or Tarkovsky? Alderete, Sam. Bench one, Nunez, Alderete, Wilson. I would bench Mateus Nunez. Send them over to me, Mugs. They were in the TikTok chat before. Orange Apple instantly goes over to the TikTok chat to check it out. Anderson versus Forest versus Wilson versus Fulham. No, not versus Fulham. I would say who would I say? I would say Anderson. Is João Pedro starting? We don't know yet. I think he will. Neil come off early, but hopefully we get a bit of a leak. I don't think we will though. Looking for a leak at the moment. Nothing at all here. Yeah, I can't see. Yeah, mate, just send me the site link just so I 100% know what I shouldn't click on. Yeah, you absolutely shouldn't go and have a look. You absolutely shouldn't. How to join your league. If you want to join my league, this is most likely the last chance you're going to get to join the league. The winner, I'm going to try, get on a YouTube video at the end of the season. If you want to join my private mini league, head over to the link in the bio, go to the YouTube, go in the YouTube description on my live stream, and you'll find an automatic join link. I would do it now rather than later because the FPL website will be down and you'll miss your chance. Thoughts on backline of Timber, Gabriel, Senesi, Amu, Kelly? If you had to drop one, who? Ooh, probably Senesi. But that's a really good backline as is. I sold Haaland in game week 18 and it was the best decision. Yeah, Anthony, to be fair, mate, he's been bad the past few. He's been bad. You're so bad at this game. How do you even share this without laughing? Share what? Should I bench boost with Haaland, Pickford, Van Heck, and Garner on the bench? Probably not, no. Probably not. Bruno G or Collins? I go Bruno G. Bruno has 3 goals and assists in his last 9 appearances against Fulham, and Buemo Cap instead as a differential. I think you're looking at it just through not the best lens, I would say. To be honest, Jake, I think the new system that Carrick's brought in, Bruno's more advanced. There's different moving parts to that system. Fulham have changed in the past few seasons as well. Different players there. For me, it's still Bruno Fernandes captain because there's so many opportunities for points for him. And Buemo isn't a bad differential to that, though. Braden, I think I've tried to pin the comment there. I don't think it's let me, actually, unfortunately. Max says Cunha or Enzo. Enzo. Robbie or Haaland. What for? Sorry, I just missed that. Or Saka captain. Haaland. Haaland there. I'm back. Nice, Josh. Ekatiko, Haaland cap. Haaland. Anyone off Joe? João Pedro's going to start. I'll have another little look for a leak, but I don't think we had one a few minutes ago. Yeah, nothing coming up at the moment. We'll keep looking, though, for the João Pedro links. I know a lot of people are curious this week. What you saying on Palmer captain? I don't think it's the option to go for this week. I don't think it is. Came back for leaks on Palmer and Kroopy. Kroopy, I think you can assume he's going to start anyway. João Pedro is a difficult one where we genuinely do not know. Best defender for 3.9 or less. Let's have a look. I think I would probably say immediately Rodon, but there may be someone I'm missing out here. Oh, no, Hill's yeah, I thought Hill was 4 million. I would say Hill from Bournemouth. James Hill. Is it James? Someone tell me in the comments if I'm incorrect. Your lineup, even noobs can choose pick from lower club. Mate, I have no idea what you're saying. I need some Pedro news. You do. The comment won't stay because of live setting. I'll have to try fix that. James Justin at 3.9. Oh, yes, he is as well, isn't he? We're going to have a little look again for some news for João Pedro and some other team news, hopefully. Voldemado or Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson, I don't think Voldemado starts. I think it'll be Wissa. Are you actually considering Salamogs? Yeah, I am. In the next few weeks, I could make that move. Braden, I know what you're trying to do with the comment, but you know when I click pin, it's not working. Appreciate you getting the code though, Braden. We'll fix it next week and we'll pin the comment on for people. Salah start. Salah will start. Yeah. I feel as though I didn't answer the question there properly. Orange about Salah. I think transitioning to a Salah team isn't a bad idea completely. It's just a case that Liverpool are still underperforming in ways and fixtures. Yes, James Hill. Yeah, perfect. Chicken Peter says start Raul or Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson. Chalobah or Timber. I would honestly say Chalobah. I would give it the home fixture, but I only would do so if you had another Arsenal defender. If you don't, Timber's the one. I would have both starting if you really can, mate, honestly. Start Sarr and Igor Jesus. Yeah, I would start both of them. Let's have a little look for some leaks because we are getting closer and closer to that deadline. Darwin Nunez or Andy Carroll? Darwin Nunez. Favorite sandwich filling? Chicken salad, mate. Chicken salad's class. Chicken salad sandwich, bash. Chicken club. James says Crouch or Suarez. Suarez, but Crouch is unique. He's unique. No, which two? Apologies. Sarr, Evan Nielsen, or Igor Jesus. Evan Nielsen and Sarr. Evan Nielsen and Sarr. I have Gabriel and Rice as well. Yeah, I think if you can squeeze, honestly, the double Arsenal defence in there, that would be great, and bench someone else for Chalobah. I agree. Yeah, 1% FPL. I think that's the right move as well. I'm glad we agree. Hopefully it works out, bro. Captain Evan Nielsen. It's a fun one, but I do think Bruno and Haaland's the better options this week. Trem says Giggs is not going to my team. What? You joking? Really? Really? Start Enzo Lefebvre or Raul, says Chicken Pizza. I would go Enzo Lefebvre because of the penalties, but Raul's on penalties as well, isn't he? I'd still go Enzo Lefebvre with the fixture as well. Trem's liking that one. Jamie Carragher, question mark. Really? Apparently Delap set the start over João Pedro, but nothing concrete says it. Yeah, you're right, nothing concrete does say it, which is the worry, but I don't know. I do think João Pedro would start personally, but if you wanna sort of protect yourself from that potential João Pedro benching or early substitution, you could just go Harry Wilson. Connor. I don't know if he's still in here, but I'm trying to answer that question for him. What about Brobby or Raul, says Chicken Pizza? I'll go Brian Brobby. Who's saying that's not concrete? There's a few people that are saying that, but it's not like a leak. Orange is saying. That's my last Raul question, lol. I mean, look, if Chicken Pizza, if you want to play a Raul over one of Brian Brobby or Enzo Lefebvre, you could do so. But yeah, no, I get the concern with João Pedro, Connor, because there are a few things saying the lap should be starting. Not leaks though, not leaks. Still not much coming up for João Pedro or Chelsea as a team, sadly. Yeah, tough. Cameron says start Senesi or Mukiele, and Mukiele, sorry. I captain Mbuemo. Nice one, Taylor. Bit of a differential option. I think there's better options out there, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you, but I do think it's a nice differential option this week. Is Barry okay to pick? Yeah, he's. I would say you've titled that correctly. He's just okay. I think he's just okay, but he's cheap. Silly to bench Haaland for Harry Wilson? Yes, I would say so. I think personally, if you've got Haaland, you should play him every single week. 1% FPL says, when are you selling Haaland? There's no immediate plans to, but there is, a consideration if this continues with Haaland and his numbers keep going down. Pick one of Senesi, Rogers, Pedro for a Chelsea start. I would say if you want to protect yourself from João Pedro, I'd start the other two. Appreciate the gifts, Braden. Again, you don't need to see them, mate. You don't need to send them, but I do appreciate it, man. I do. Someone tells me Wilson or Mbuemo, and Mbuemo. Wilson or Mbuemo is Mbuemo for me. Nothing's coming up about Chelsea. We've only got 4 minutes for fuck's sake. I mean, not for F's sake. Don't take me down. Palmer explodes tonight. Oh my god, you've been warned. Palmer's going to explode, guys. Do not start him. Palmer is exploding tonight. What do you mean by that? Right, I've decided I'm transferring in. I went away 1%. Was that Delap? Ballard or Statch, mate? Ballard. Ballard. Oh. Palmer go boom. Don't swear, kids back outside. Yeah, apologies. Apologies. Is João Pedro a start, bro? Bro. There's no leaks that we're getting. We've got 3 minutes to go. If you want to protect yourself from a potential benching, you could play someone else. You could. I think he's worth starting. If you really don't, you're not keen on him starting personally with like the lack of, a leak, you could start someone else. I personally would start though. Thiago or Anderson midfield, help. I would go Thiago. County getting battered. We've had 2 shots on target and 2-0 down. Not looking good at. It's unlucky, Braden. Chelsea's home record against West Ham is impeccable. Well, that's good news. I've got Enzo. I like that. I cannot see anything about João Pedro, fellas. I do apologise. Enzo red card. Josh, pack it in now. Watkins update. No Watkins update before the deadline, I'm afraid. I would personally start. Look, Connor, I think what we're looking at with João Pedro here is the genuine situation is he could start and get reduced minutes, or he could be benched and come out at the end of the game. I don't think there's a game for Chelsea right now where he gets 90. Okay, so keep that in mind with your decision. Harry Wilson, unplayable. I would be looking to play him over João Pedro if you're concerned that João Pedro can't outperform Harry Wilson within 70 minutes. Completely up to you with this decision, mate. It's tough, so I'll give you massive credit for pulling through with this, mate, but let me know what you're going to do, Connor. Let me know. It's really difficult. Saka, question mark. Saka's good, yeah. Can you not use a spell or something to foresee leaks? I can't. Unfortunately, I left my wand somewhere. Right, I think we're coming very, very close to the deadline. Again, I cannot see any leaks coming into this final part. I cannot see any. Unfortunately. I'm going to try fire through some questions, but we literally have a few seconds. Bruno G playing? I think so. João Pedro DCL? I would go João Pedro with the better fixture and hope he plays more than 70 minutes. DCL has a really hard fixture. Evan Nielsen or João Pedro? I will say Evan Nielsen. Delap or Igor? I think Delap 2 goals. I would personally say Igor because it's tough. Dubravka or Verbruggen? I would say this week Verbruggen. I think it'll have a hard time, Dubravka at Sunderland away. Bruno captain is really tempting, but Haaland versus this Tottenham team, man, surely. I don't know. Bruno Fernandes is the best captain for me this week. My team is saved. The deadline is gone. And we are done. I think. Is that the deadline gone? I think it is. Joshua's just said, I'm playing my wild card, quick, help me build my team, when there's literally like the timer has gone. Got 10 seconds. I think with the delay, Joshua, it probably is deadline right now. Apologies if I couldn't get to everyone's question at the end there for TikTok. TikTok, if you appreciate my hard work with deadline streams, go give the YouTube a subscribe. I do appreciate it. Why not? Does that mean his wild card is wasted, Lamau? No, I think he was just joking, man. Because some people come in after the live stream and say, I've got my wild card. Help me play it. No, I'm messing up. Joshua, I hope you're bloody lying, please. What's your top placement on FPL? I don't know, actually. 120k? Joshua, stop messing on with that because I thought you were telling the truth on that second message. Mogs, I have triple captain Paqueta. What do you think? Do you know what? I think Paqueta triple captain might work out, mate. But let me know who your vice captain is and I'll give you my full opinion. Can anyone tell me why Paqueta triple captain might work this week? If you had a good vice captain. Lucas as well, just as the deadline passed, sending 5 roses. Appreciate that, man. Dorgu got a hamstring. Well, I don't think he has a hamstring. I think that's the problem. No Palmer, no Pedro, no James, no Cucurella. What? Oh, where's the leak? Where's the leak? Mogs is the GOAT. Hell yeah. No Giggs. Giggsy's not going to my team. No Giggsy. Where's this leak, lads? Just triple captain to my moose. Who the hell is that? Oh, wait. Orange, you come out with some crackers, you, mate. Oh, he's the City youngster. Yeah, apparently the Chelsea lineups has been leaked, but I can't find it. Start Wilson ahead of João Pedro just now. Hope I won't regret it. Fingers crossed, man. As a Sunderland fan, you should always have at least one Sunderland player in your team. Shame on you. I know. What can I say? Enzo on the bench? No way. Is it? We'll see. We'll see. Found a leak. Pickle. What? I beg your very pardon. Got Zapdos, Moltres up top. What do you think? Where's Articuno? Where's Articuno, mate? Mark, if we're going to do this properly, there's no messing about, mate. Where the hell's Articuno? You need that front three. Thoughts on Palmer captain? I don't particularly like it, personally. But yeah. Rotation player, Mark, you are terrible. Pikachu leading the line. I don't know, man. I don't think I would. I think he's got soft hands. I think Pikachu's got soft hands. What do you think, guys? I think he does. Oh my God, Haaland to Real Madrid. Here we go. Oh my God, Captain Dick over Haaland, says James. Oh dear. I mean, it's not the end of the world, really, is it? Would you go to prison for 5 years if Sunderland won a treble when you came back? Yes, I absolutely would do that. Send me down. Send me down. Pikachu's very much a Nepo baby. If it weren't was all of Ash's glazing. Oh, what a comment. I wish I could pin them. I can't pin them for some reason. Pikachu's not a Nepo baby. Oh my God, that's funny as hell. Just in, Harry Wilson locked himself in a shed. He won't be able to come out until the 93rd minute. The Pikachu glaze is crazy. Oh yeah, the franchise main runner. Mark, get out of here now. Snorlax in goal, perfect. No one scoring. Start Evan Nielsen or Croupy. Evan Nielsen. How about you go to prison for 5 years and nothing happens when you get back? Nothing. Nothing happens. I am not going then. Why would I go? Mogs only gives his glaze to Low Bunny. Okay, right. We're gone too far. Red card. What move did I do this week? Reinders. How the hell do you spell Reinders? Oh my God. I can never spell this bloody guy's name. I know it starts. Reinders. Because I sold Reinders to Elliot Anderson. It's like Rain Days, but not. Reinders. 2, Elliot Anderson. Fruit Winders. No, Reinders. Tajani Reinders. Cherry flavour. To Elliot Anderson. Locked himself in a shed. I'm dying. Yeah, breaking news. Haaland has locked himself in the shed with Harry Wilson trying to help him out. Timothy Reindeer. Why you got 3 Arsenal defenders? Because they're class, mate. Because the mint. The best defense in the league, mate. I just like them a lot. Double game week 26, hopefully happening for them. Let's go. Evan Nilsson! What is Unk yapping? Mate, we're just having a bit of a hyper 5 minutes because the deadline has passed and we're going to all get green arrows. I think Leeds away will give them a tough challenge. Absolutely, Thanos. Absolutely. I spoke about it all week on YouTube, how it's a tough game. I still think it's a great chance, though. Mogs, I really need help with my game week 39 team. I'm struggling on what to do. I've got 6 free transfers. Tough. Who do you support? Sunderland, mate. Sunderland. Haaland hasn't locked himself in a shed with Harry Wilson. Stop spreading lies, lads. Just when I thought you were a reliable channel, unsubscribed. No! Did the Neil Warnock. Just put my hands on my head. Thoughts on no Haaland? It's not the end of the world not having Haaland right now because of how bad he's doing. But I think you have to have a team structure that makes sense with the no Haaland. You have to have good midfield options, premium options, and maybe that does include Palmer, but the injury at the moment maybe doesn't allow that to be sustainable. Let's get this live. Guys, he's lying about the deadline being up. I can see his team behind me. To be fair, lads. To be fair. I can still make changes to my team. What's going on? Why Moog's got 3 Arsenal defenders? Because is his effing team. That's a good point, yeah. How can you not have a single Sunderland player in your team, lad? Come on. I know, but like, I've got like, this week, I could have feasibly done the Enzo Fernandez, Enzo Lefebvre transfer, but it's one of them ones where I think Elliot Anderson longer term is a bit better. Obviously, I love Sunderland, but I don't have to have them in my team, sadly. I would love to, but no. We'll put that on. What do you think of Pedro? I hope he starts for those who have them in the team. I hope he does. Alf Moon says, how are you? I'm class, mate. I'm absolutely class. Bro's the type of guy to captain Steve Archibald for game week 12 in his 1984-85 FPL team. I did actually captain him that week, to be honest, mate. How the hell did you know that? Prem prediction winner, Sunderland. I think it'll be Arsenal. Are you good at FPL? I'm alright. Thoughts on Raya, Gabriel, Timber, Munoz, Chalobah, Bruno Fernandes, and Buemo, Semenyo, Rice, Enzo, Evan Nilsson, Thiago? Pretty good, yeah. Where the hell is Haaland? Nah, joking, man. Nah, it's a good team. Maguire or Joachim Anderson? I would go Maguire this week. Liverpool are not winning the league. You are deluded. Leave my chat right now. I'm joking. I don't know. I can't see Liverpool catching up. I cannot see it. Yeah, never do that again. Sorry, mate. Sorry, lad. Is Bruno the best FPL midfielder? He's the best player in the game, yeah. Manchester United gonna win the... Apparently Man United are gonna win the league. Okay, right, yo. Pack it up, dude. Pack it up. What do we think of me starting Rodgers instead of Barry? I've got the hiccups. Probably better move to make, yeah. What's the thinking with the trip Arsenal on the defenders? The best defence in the league. Great fixtures, double game week potentially in game week 26. They've been absolutely fantastic for me. Just got a pitch side notification for the Liverpool Newcastle combined 11. Can't wait for Bowden's team. Yeah. I can't wait to see that in a clip later and immediately scroll past because he's deluded. Get Road on instead of Van Dijk. I can't make any changes because the deadline has passed, but that is a wild transfer to make. Triple Captain Roofs this week. The roof is on fire. Any betting tips? No. This is an FPL page. But if you want an absolute banker, put this on. No, I'm joking. No, just because I'm a Leeds fan. Oh, Spencer, perfect. Perfect person to ask. What do you reckon the score's going to be? Did you wildcard? No. My team's just unbelievably good. Nah, no wildcard, bro. No wildcard this week. Why captain Bruno over Haaland? I think he's the better option this week. 3-3, says Spencer. Oh, my days. Oh, my days. I don't think there'd be that many goals. Sidemen versus YouTube All-Stars. What's that? Oh, yeah, they asked me to play in that game. I said no. Bias. Spencer, I would say that is bias. That ain't no bias, bro. What's the most hectic FPL game week you can ever remember? Do you remember when everyone captained Havertz versus Norwich and it was like 7-0? He did absolutely nothing. Obviously, there's that Dennis game week. There was the game week where I think Liverpool scored 8 or 9 past Bournemouth and Salah did absolutely nothing. Yeah, rough. Rough. There's been a lot of game weeks where it's just been crazy. Reckon Ryers are overrated in FPL? Not really, no. I think with keepers, like, you either, most of the time, getting 2 or 6 pointers unless you get save points and, like, penalties saved and stuff, you know? Now we'll probably lose 2-1, says Spencer. Do you know what? I reckon it'll be like 1 or 2-0 Arsenal. I just think that's how the game will go. How do you feel about Gabriel captain? I don't like it too much because he's away. Don't like it too much. Would you get a Manchester United tattoo if they win the league this season? No. I do not want that on my body. No, I think we'll get a goal. I don't know. I just can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, I can see it. It definitely could happen. But I don't know. I think Arsenal will just have the ball for the whole game. Right. Where are the leaks? I mean, it doesn't matter now, but I'd like to see who starts for everyone. Can't see it. What about Saka captain? Saka captain's not bad. I've gone to Bravka over Raya this week. Wow. No, I mean, it's not bad for the fixture-wise, is it? Right, folks, I'm not seeing any leaks, so I'll probably end stream there. If you're on TikTok, I really would appreciate if you head over to the YouTube channel and drop a little subscribe. Follow this page. Like the video. It really does make a world of difference for helping me out. But yeah, head over to the YouTube live stream if you're on TikTok. Drop a sub. We'll probably have a little few-minute conversation over there. But yeah, head over to YouTube now. I'll see you guys there from TikTok. Just go through link in the bio. Should easily take you there. I'll see you there. Right. YouTube. We'll have a little bit of a chat for 1 or 2 minutes, then we'll head off. Do you remember Joaquin Petri scored 13 goals in one game in the 1885-86 FPL season? I do remember that. I captained him for that game. Right. We'll head off now, though, YouTube. We'll head off. I was going to stay on a little bit longer, but it is 2.5 hours of streaming. So, yeah, we'll head off now. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by on the YouTube live stream. As always, he's a legend, man. He's an absolute legend. Of course, videos to come this week. So I'll see you all later. Enjoy your green arrows because your team's a class. See you later, guys. Enjoy. See you later. Ooh, 19 new subs. That's class.